Aldous Huxley described the mind as having filters. So if you walked around knowing and experiencing the fullness of your existence, you might just simply not eat. But I think when you have a schizophrenic break, your hearing and your vision and your sense of touch and smell, it's just hyper. You are just as you are when you're born.
How does one photograph what only exists in the imagination? How does one take that which we think is just a document of reality, the photograph, and make it record something that only exists in our mind, our fears, our psychic imagination? Joe Mills has done that better than any other photographer that I know. He manages to transfigure reality, to hold in his collages enough of what we recognize and then transform it into a reality that is out of control in a way that is both horrible and beautiful.
See, if you really have me going to make collages, you're going to lose me. I'm simply going to float off into a sort of right brain, unaware that you're here. For me, the work is more like data. And the data or the artwork, the objects that I make, are simply molecules that go into this whole and add density to it. The idea of this body of work having a defining shape to it, it's really only faith that you go on because it just seems chaotic. If you're in the right mode, you're just sort of flowing down a river with this creativity. It has to do with relinquishing control. When I was 16, I just knew I liked this thing called art. I didn't even know quite what it was yet, but I realized something about the imagination that I had was unique. My earliest technique really involved would be to cut out many small things that attracted me in magazines and as a source material, and I began using my understanding of light and tonality to integrate images that shouldn't be integrated together. The surrealist would call it the synthesis of antinomies. I like the body. I like the visceral nature of our skin. There is a oral craving that goes throughout the work, holes, people hungry, stuff coming out, pressure, an expression of suffering on many levels that didn't have anywhere to go. I was born in 1951 in Wisconsin in a lower income Polish district. Polish people are great, very emotional people, physical people. The men kiss each other on the lips all the time. I mean, I love that. They also eat a lot of organ meat, whether if there's something connected there, I don't know. My mother is surrealism personified. She doesn't know it, but She has the oddest tendencies. She will mix up the words exotic with erotic at times. So you'll have a very erotic pet that she saw at the store. She really is the source of my collage. My father was born with a withered leg. I learned many things by his inadequacies, and it had profound effect on him and eventually on me. By the end of high school, I was in a terrible tailspin. I mean, just depression and great suffering from it. A lot of self-destructive tendencies, using alcohol to put myself in a comatose state. And then all of this was just accelerating until I just sort of stepped out over the edge. I had the schizophrenic breakdown when I was about 20. About 6 months in the hospital, half of it complete seamless paranoid delusion, and about 5 years of hell in halfway houses. I went into this state thinking life was simply absurd, to just feeling like every object in the gutter was meaningful and every individual was a glorious creation. Okay, gotta get this right. Okay. I might have to put this mask on to do this Sharpie work because it's too toxic for me. Imagine, can't even use a damn Sharpie anymore. I had developed as a terrible purist, and I was hypersensitive to whatever toxins were in my methods of working, and always frustrated at them and unable to figure out how to get around them. Could you fan this area? Because I want to take my mask off. All right, keep doing it. Oh God, this stuff is terrible. Oh. All right, obsessions. Obsessions will kill you eventually if you don't do something about it. Okay. Sign that. Oops. All right. Okay. Oh, I only started titling things in the last 2 or 3 years, and they all begin with the. What the hell would this be called? Oh, we'll call it the happy blending. That could be good. Happy blending. That's pretty good. I have gotten into the habit of wearing gloves. I use this disposable really crappy brush. You'll see a lot of hairs in my work. I think for me, to discover the harmony and things that underpin all that's around us, to me it reinforces optimism and faith. It's overwhelming, coming from a time where you thought there was no rhyme or reason or meaning at all.
All right, that's it. Mm-hmm.